Hi, good day everyone. Welcome to our lesson for accounting. This subject is for senior high school grade 11, which is your specialized subject. So for our objectives for today, at the end of the lesson you will be able to define accounting, describe the nature of accounting, define its external users, and we will cite some examples and also define who are these internal users of the financial statement and its example so you will understand more about the lessons. So let's start. For us to know accounting, let us first define the definition of accounting. So it is the recording of financial transactions along with storing, sorting, retrieving, summarizing, and presenting the results in various reports and analysis. Accounting is also a field of study and profession dedicated to carrying out those tasks. So according to American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, or ECPA, defines accounting as the art of recording, classifying, and summarizing in a significant manner and in terms of money, transaction, and events, which are in part of at least of a financial character and interpreting the result thereof. So it says on the definition that it is the recording of financial transaction. That means that we are the one who will first store the transaction from day to day, sort it out, retrieve, and summarize. So, what do you mean by this? Because accounting is a systematic process, that means it is a series of actions that produce something or that lead to a particular result. So, the purpose of our storing, sorting, retrieving, and summarizing is to come up with the result. And that result is the financial statements or the reports that we will be making and will be analyzing at the end of the period. It is also said that accounting is an art and accounting is a service activity. Accounting is an art because it is a skill required by experience, study, or observation. It is also defined as an occupation requiring knowledge or skill. So, question. Since it says that it required experience, study, and observation, so what do we need to take to be able to be a bookkeeper or an accountant? So for a bookkeeper, you just need to take the NC3. Once you have the license, you can do the bookkeeping. And for to be able to be an accountant, of course, we need to study first. You need to take the Bachelor of Science in Accountancy and then take the CPA exam. And once you pass, you will have the license as an accountant. As we have mentioned earlier, that accounting is a series of actions that produce something or that lead to a particular result. So, what is really accounting? What we'll be doing from day to day? So, from the day that the business is operating, so we'll start from day one. So, by the way, class, the cycle of accounting has two cycles. It can be fiscal year or calendar year. So once the business will start on January 1 and it will end, of course, on December 31, so we call it calendar year. And if the business will start on any day of the month, and it will also end after 1 year. So, like for example, we will start February 1, so it will end next year, February 1. So we call it fiscal year. So let's go back to our topic. From day one, the business will start. So as the work of accounting, it involves series of actions that produce something. So what we need to produce at the end of the accounting period or the fiscal period, of course, the reports that we need to give to the users or what the owner needs to know because this is considered as the language of the business. So whatever the reports or the results in the report, it speaks the status of the business. So earlier, we say that it involves storing, sorting, retrieving, and summarizing. So from day one, we do the recording. Of course, it involves figures. It involves money when we do the recording. So non-monetary terms does not involve in accounting. So we talk here about the monetary terms. So from day one, we record the whatever the transaction does the business is doing in its day to day. So we do the storing and then we classify. So like for example of classify is to or we sort according to its transaction. So by classifying, we separate the assets, the liabilities, and the owner's equity. And after classifying, we summarize in every period from day 1 to example, from day 1 to, like for example, every quarter, the report is every quarter. So every after 90 days, we will have to summarize. And then after summarizing, of course, here's the analyze of the result of our output. By the way, class, before we start to the users of financial statement, let me correct what I have said earlier that yes, the fiscal year, we call it fiscal year once the business will operate in any day of the month. So, as I've cited an example earlier, like for example, February 1, the business starts its operation. So, it will end next year, January 31, 2023. Okay, so that's that's what I would like to correct. Anyway, so let's proceed to the users of financial statements. So earlier, we've discussed that accounting is a systematic process because it is a series of actions that produce something or that lead to a particular result. So that means at the end of the day, there should be a result. We need result. At the end of accounting period, we need result or the output. So earlier also we talked that for accounting, we have aspects of accounting which is what we are doing from day to day to record, classify, summarize, and by analyzing we also interpret. So the one that we are doing from day to day operations of the business, the one we we do the recording, classifying, summarizing, and interpret. This is the financial statements. I know you are uh, curious, or I will be thankful if others have an idea what is the financial statement. I hope you do the research since you're taking ABM. So what is the financial statement? The financial statement, this is the result that we are talking earlier at the end of the year, at the end of the fiscal period or the calendar period. This is the document that we will be presenting to the owner of the business. The business owner that he or she needs to know. We call it financial statement. So one of the examples of the content of financial statement, of course, the result of the operation of the business. How much is the income? How much is the expenses of the business? And how much is the cost of the goods that they are selling? And also another example is the how much is the current assets of the business? The non-current assets. How about the liability of the business owner? And also the owner's equity. So those are the examples of the financial statements. But of course, we categorize it to, we first, I will just give you an example, hints. What are the financial statement? First, we have the income statement. We also call it now a statement of comprehensive income. From here, we will know the content of income statement is on the document is the uh, business income, sales, and expenses, and also the cost of goods goods or the services that the company is offering. And another example also is the balance sheet or statement of financial statements. From this document, the content is the assets, current assets, liabilities, or utang ni owner, and of course the equity. So now let's proceed. So those are the the overview of the financial statement. At least you have an idea. So now let our focus here is who are the users of these financial statements aside from the owner. That is the topic that we will be talking. So from the slide, as you can see, there is not just the owner is interested to the financial statement, but also those are even outside of the business, part of the business operation. Of course, these are examples of the users of financial statement. Later, we will classify it, which is the internal user and the external users. For the internal users, from the word internal, these are the people involved the operation of the business. External are the outside. They are indirect. They are still interested, but they are indirect of the operation of the business. So we have the management of the company, investors, customers, competitors, government, and so on. So I would like you to see these users, but try to analyze uh, of this uh, slide, which is the internal users and the external users. I want you to think. So now my question is, who are the users of the financial statements? Who is interested in these financial statements? of the output or the documents or the reports that being reported by the management. So for users of the financial statement, it is we have internal users, as I've said earlier, the people who are part of the operations of the business, they are called as internal users. And of course, we have external users. From the slide earlier, I told you to try to analyze which is the internal users and the external users. Now, I will be presenting to you who are these users. So for internal users, of course, the very uh, interested, the one who's very interested in knowing the the status of the financial statement, of course, because the financial statement, it will show the result of the operation of the business, and also it will show the financial condition of the business. Kung pila ng utang ni owner, pila na ang pag-aari ni owner, ang ilang equity, the sales, and the net income for this specific period. So, business owner is very interested. So, and then the management of the company. Yeah. Management of the company, business owner is actually part of the management. Employees. Okay. Why is it that employees is also interested in knowing the status of the financial statement? Of course, in my opinion, employees also, not all employees actually, some will just work, they don't care whatever the status of the company that they are working. But for others, it is still, I can say it is still part of internal users because there are other employees who would like to know if they have the future to the company that they are working. So what's the status of the company that they are working? What the company can offer to them. So that's the reason, one of the reasons why employees want to know the financial statement. The next is the investors, of course. For the investors, these are the people who would like to invest, whether they will invest to the business or not. So they're also interested in the financial statement. And for external users, as I've said earlier, these are the people outside of the company but still wanted to know the status of the financial statement. The customers, of course, there are other customers who might be investor in the future and would like to know the status of the product that they are patronizing. Competitors, of course, they wanted to know the financial statement of the the company that offer the same service, so they will know what are the marketing strategy that we'll be doing in the future. For government agency, why they're interested in financial statement, of course, it's because of the for taxation for the report purposes also. And suppliers, of course, they will do. They are the one who are giving supply of the products the company is selling. So they would like to know the status of the financial statement, if they, how much they will give to the business. And for the investment analyst, of course, they're also interested knowing the status of the company because uh, they are also doing some research of some businesses to know the status. And for creditors, like example of creditors is the bank, institutions, or cooperatives. They're the one who are allowing the business to have additional capital. So creditors, they wanted to know the status of the financial statement, whether the company has the ability to pay to the creditors if they will allow them to credit the money. or credit, uh, extend credit. So these are the users of the financial statements. We have again internal users and external users. Please familiarize this because at the end of this lesson, I will be giving assessment through Google Classroom. So for now, for the review, let's answer this assessment. Determine below if the user is internal or external. So write it in the space provided. Okay, we have discussed earlier the users of financial statements. We have two. We have internal users and external user. Okay, management. Is it internal or external? So the answer is internal. For employees, internal. Banks, okay, they belong to external user. Creditors, external. Investors, okay. How about investors? So this is internal. Government, okay. For the government, this is external. Customers, external. And for business stockholders, how about business stockholders? They belong to internal user. I hope you learned something from our lesson for today. This is for quarter 2, week 1. If you uh, still need to clarify things, just message me or read also our learning activity sheet will be uploaded through Google Classroom. I hope this PowerPoint will help you understand the accounting